What's up, y'all, man? King Carlos here, dude. Back with another video. I want to speak on some shit, man. And pretty much this is gonna be like not one of my usual videos, not a hip hop topic. More on the topic of superheroes, some shit I'm really more into than the hip hop shit. I love hip hop too and music, and that's a big part of my life. But also, comic books and anime and all that is a much huger part of my life. So I'm gonna make the channel also about that. I told myself when I come back. That's one thing I'm gonna start doing since I'm still very early in my videos. Start mixing it in. I wanted to speak on the Snyder Cut. And pretty much the whole entire DCEU. Let me turn this. I'm playing Uncharted right now too, if y'all can hear it in the background. So I want to speak on the Snyder Cut pretty much. And pretty much what happened with the DCEU, the DC live action universe. Why did it fail the way it did? And pretty much there was nothing like The Man of Steel was a great movie. The reason that the DCEU failed the way it did, I tell people this all the time, is because it was rushed. When you look at the MCU and the Avengers, and you look at all three Avengers movies, it's three, right? Avengers Age of Ultron. No, there's four. Forgive me. Yeah, all four Avengers movies. I'm sorry. The reason that those movies work the way they do is each of those characters has their own perspective universe. They have their own perspective characters. They're not. It's all in the same universe, but they have their own. They have their own perspective characters. They have their own perspective nuances. The way they do things. The way their music go. When it comes to even all the way down to the production, the way the movies are produced, the music, the action sequences, the way they get into action, the diplomacy of the hero. If it's somebody like Captain America that wants to talk it out first, if they could, before fighting, or whether it be somebody like showing how it crosses over with someone like Iron Man, who likes to play it safe and just spy on his enemy and do things that are unethical, crossing over with Bruce Banner, who's so scientific but also a monster who's more preserved, crossing over with Thor, who's gullible, funny, but also very brave, quaint, but at the same time so brave and to the point and honest that it's almost it comes at a cost sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't look at the bigger picture. He doesn't see that everything is not about war and battle. And you saw the development of Thor's character through all three movies anyway. But I'm just saying the way those universes cross over, the reason those movies work, because you already have examples of those characters. So when they come together and certain things are happening, or certain characters don't get along, certain characters have discrepancies with others, you understand because you understand. You've seen their solo movies to see the way they do things compared to the way they do things. When you looked at the Justice League movie, the Whedon cut, they call it, instead of the Snyder cut, the Whedon cut. And just in general, even with the Snyder cut, it's gonna be good, but at the same time, we have never seen something like, we got a Man of Steel movie. We should have got a Batman film next, right? Then after that, we could have got the Wonder Woman film. Literally, we could have got we could have got Superman in 2013, Batman in 2015. Since it was, and the only reason I'm saying skip the years because obviously the director for Batman vs Superman is Zack Snyder. He also directed Man of Steel, but Patty Jenkins did Wonder Woman, which is a whole other director. So they could have still kept that in the 2016 slot. Then you come out with a Flash movie, and with the Flash movie, also Star Labs and things like this, you could introduce Cyborg. A lot of people get mad sometimes when people, because I personally love Cyborg. They use him as a support character, but I love anytime he's issued in the comics. What they're doing right here, well, he's gone right now in Deceased Planet. I don't think there's any right now what DC's doing with after Deceased Planet and what's going on right now. They're pretty much making the Justice League, but with if you guys are keeping up with the comics currently, Jonathan Kent is Superman, Damian Wayne is Batman, and Wonder Girl is actually Wonder Woman. So they're currently doing something right now with the comics where they're making it a little different. Actually, I'm reading some right now. This isn't Justice League. I'm actually just reading some old school X-Men right now, but they're doing like some things that are a little different. But so Cyborg is in the part of it right now. But I've always loved Cyborg in the comics. I've always loved the way he the tech way he, not even just like with the tech stuff, the heart he brings to the Justice League, the humanity, the almost regularness, the down-to-earthness, that we don't have to assume ourselves as guys, just like a regular guy that loves to eat pizza who's now a cyborg with powers, and obviously he's a human computer, he can do pretty much anything. And we've seen how important Cyborg was in Deceased Planet, seeing how important he was by how pretty much Cyborg was used to end the entire planet, end all life in the DCEU universe. So he's pretty important. And I know people get mad sometimes he's diminished to a character inside of another guy's movie, but I feel like a Cyborg movie, unless a Cyborg movie won't work. Cyborg, one of those characters we will have to see him in someone else's movie before he gets his own. Because just to explain what happened to him, just to explain the Star Labs part of it with Barry Allen and all that crossing over, that'll be real cool. Then you get him a solo movie maybe, and you could introduce some Teen Titan-like characters. You don't have to have Starfire, but maybe have him get cool with like a Robin, or I don't know. You could have Flash and Cyborg do something, and then just maybe a Cyborg movie or something like that. But there was no character development. That's pretty much that's the biggest reason why, even with the Snyder cut they're finna do, bro, people don't understand this. He always planned to end the universe quick. Like pretty much what we're finna see in the Snyder cut, and I think it's 3 movies, right? If I'm not mistaken, he's gonna combine them all. We're gonna get like, this is what's supposed to happen. The first movie is gonna be kind of similar, but way more different with more characters. They're gonna fight Steppenwolf, kill Steppenwolf, send Steppenwolf back to Apocalypse. Then they're going to go to Apocalypse and get their asses whooped while they're on Apocalypse. Darkseid will come back here and take over the planet. In the third movie is Redemption, but the world will be way too fucked up to go back. So obviously they're going to go have Flash create a new timeline, and I think that's when they're going to have Patty Jenkins come on board with a much brighter, much more exuberant, because a much more happier Justice League. And it's not really hard. To me, you just use the Spider-Man 2 formula, the way Spider-Man 2 was so active and the whole city was going, and New York City was almost a character inside Spider-Man 2 and stuff like that. You just make the background, you make the music, you make the energy, the nostalgia almost a character in the Justice League movie. That will create the bright exuberance that people want to see with like them coming in, or like a really bright day of Lex Luthor and I don't know, the Legion of Doom robbing some kind, not the Legion of Doom robbing a bank, because that's pretty small. They wouldn't do no shit like that. But I don't know, maybe like Gorilla Grodd and Cheetah and like Lex Luthor are trying to like do some operation, and you have like the Justice League come in like on a super bright like day, like almost like Brightest Day, right? But with the Justice League that comes in and stops them and shit like that. So that'll be really cool. That's my thoughts on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think.